It seems as if we are watching a movie in which the SEC's collapse is imminent. Ripple is going to reveal two significant prospects. You won't believe me, you already know how I'm going to start. Listen to Thomas Petra's thoughts on the matter. Let me just inform you that he is dealing with ripples at this point. Let's go. Two major prospects. Nobody is prepared. I'm guessing you have two main prospects. I hope you will read it, even though I can't name it. Right now and soon, we have two main opportunities. I won't reveal its name, but perhaps you'll have a chance to read it soon. I was genuinely shocked when I saw both of them. They're all going with the SAS operating paradigm because it's free and works for both secure and non-secure components. This implies that their primary management system is software as a service. These are genuine, well-intentioned bank monsters, and they're no longer on-prem, with their salesperson, or in their IT department. The monsters of banks and I were pleasantly delighted to see that a change in perspective was occurring in, are these going to be U.S. banks? Yes, it does seem like that. Last week in Frankfurt, he brought up two significant entities. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. This statement bears a striking resemblance to Anthony Welfare's declaration from the same meeting, clearly identifying him as Ripple's leader. 5 NDAs were also mentioned. He mentioned the 5 NDAs currently in operation, as well as those not yet announced in Frankfurt last year, 2023. What, then, are we discovering? Therefore, the NDA covers 5 projects in addition to the 2 already declared. Yes, that is what I mean. It really sets the tone for what transpires behind the scenes, and have we not talked about how there are a ton of NDAs that are still under wraps? There's a lot of information out there that partners like Ripple simply won't be announcing anytime soon. Brad Garlinghouse was quite explicit about this. Those of you who were among the first viewers of my channel are aware that I have established the tone since the beginning. We've been able to witness it ever since it started. The process will take some time to unfold. Customer relationships will be revealed when our partners are ready, as Brock Garlinghouse has previously stated. It's part of working with the industry and not trying to surprise them. You already know what we're going to announce. We will announce this when both our clients and ourselves are ready. There can be no downtime, which is why XRP or Ripple will prevail. We are building a new financial infrastructure that will connect all economies, and its completion is crucial. There were no setbacks during the initial attempt. They can't possibly be idle, can they? Guys, keep in mind that I've said it numerous times, once the system is operational, there can be no form of downtime, and they cannot afford to have anyone working with real assets and increasing their value by trillions. Downtime is not something you can simply take an hour off and listen to. We filmed this video 2 days ago, but its latency issues and downtime are 2 of its major current challenges. One of the requirements is that we adhere to the obligatory authority of Singapore's 99.9% uptime annually for our licensing. You cannot simply go down for 12 hours at a time on a token market or in the middle of issuance. For instance, these are the kinds of difficulties that the RWA sector faces. In general, when it comes to cryptocurrency, we will have to accept that it must meet real-world requirements to handle the control, performance, and compliance challenges of the various protocols. Resources are abundant in Ripple. It's all happening right now. And they're built concerning idle time. Because of the ready-to-go state of the market and compliance regulations, Thomas made it extremely evident to important prospects that we now have, 2 large prospects. I'm uncertain about the name, but perhaps you'll have the opportunity to review it shortly. In the future, Ripple will employ the same defense against the SEC that we previously raised. The SEC recalls that they requested $2 billion from Ripple, but they won't get close to where Ripple returned. They declared that no civil fine should exceed $10 million. The nicest thing about this is that they essentially referred to, as I've mentioned since this first surfaced, the fact that the SEC frequently sanctions much lesser fines for malfeasance by the biggest businesses. They then cite Citadel Goldman Sachs and claim that this case is unimportant. such manner, and when they released it, I tweeted about this $2 billion story, claiming that the SEC had charged 16 all of the Wall Street businesses are present. Combined, they represent 16 banks and $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion, and now they want to go after Ripple for $2 billion. As I mentioned earlier, their actions were not nearly as damaging or illegal as those involving record-keeping errors above the 16 Wall Street firms, and Ripple is making the same argument here as well. This is simple, Alex, you don't need to be an expert. The judge is going to read this and comprehend it, and she will concur with us completely in the end. Recall that they will select the top liquidity supplier. Pay close attention. It all comes down to market liquidity, which is precisely what Ripple is. I want you guys to always remember that. Remember, without liquidity, the markets cannot function properly. It's dried up in the markets, but it's still quite evident that you can move value and do trades. I saw this video with the panelists at the BIS, but considering all the recent occurrences, I want to watch it again and pay close attention to what he has to say. He almost calls it a third-party liquidity provider, which is understandable, but then he describes it as a third-party cryptocurrency. We know that this is what Ripple is attempting to accomplish, which is why it will be so large and many people will miss out on it, but ultimately, there is only so much we can do to spread the word. Some people are aware of this. Best wishes. To be honest, the journey to the top will be exciting, but take your time. Ensure you pay close attention to the discourse. Regarding the attempt to resolve these interoperability-related technical issues, the second one is now more difficult. Liquidity plays a key role here, so let's say you have two currencies and there isn't a complementary month for them. In that case, you would need to look for a third-party currency. To complete this transaction, you must look for a third-party currency. This settlement actually occurs, which greatly complicates matters. Therefore, to settle more transactions, we need to implement technological components that can use liquidity more efficiently. Who will be the third-party currency? Remember, everyone must provide their consent for this currency. Every jurisdiction that intends to use this currency must regulate it, so please inquire about licensing. You are already aware of this. I comprehend that all the preparations are complete, everything is in place behind the scenes, ready for launch and subsequent scaling. Never forget that we are ground zero, pioneers. We currently have a market capitalization of $2.3 trillion, which is essentially $0. Throughout our lifetime, this will increase to over 10 to 20, 30 to 40, 50 to 60, and $100 trillion. You just have to stay alive, no matter how old you are, 80 or 75, for example. You won't realize this is more than $100 trillion for another 10 to 15 years. Having said that, we'll return with another It's All a Matter of Liquidity. I hope you'll embrace the video, but I believe, in a broader sense, that there is, some regulatory certainty currently lacking. Even in the last few years, it has improved significantly, and this has led to some sort of high-profile institutional acceptance, which I believe will inspire others who may have been hesitant.